Russians invading Thailand. I hear this on the streets nearly every day. Boss Club, Indian. Janet, Indian. Mashal, Leela Club, Indian. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that sentiment is...
That's not entirely accurate.
Let's go back and look at some figures from 2024. There is a new general in town in Thailand tourism, and it is not Russia. Actually, it's China at 6 million annual visitors, followed next by India, South Korea, and Russia coming in only fourth. For this debate, we can exclude Malaysia because they can just walk across the border into Thailand. So access for them simply isn't comparable for this video. In the past, the US, UK, Australia all dominated tourism Thailand, but that ship has sailed. Using Pattaya as a focal point, let's go back in time. Let's go back to the 1960s, when Pattaya was no more than a simple fishing village. And today I'm standing at a place owned by a French company called Byblos, named after a Greek island, with a courtyard full of Russians. Today's conversation is filled with ironies. In the 60s, the Vietnam War raged next door, and only up the road, the American GIs took their R&R at Utapao Air Base.
Now, a lot of you guys are going to like the looks of these pretty little honeys. They're young, slim, and sexy. If you come down with symptoms of venereal disease, open sores, the drift, painful urination, get to a medic fast.
And that's around the time that the savvy Thai people began constructing bars on public land, on government land, that jutted out into the water, a slightly economically controversial step that still is around today. In fact, it is no different to what the Australians, the British, the Americans, the Norwegians, the Germans, the Belgians, the French, particularly the French nightclub, Belgian, Australian, I believe. These countries have been doing for decades. It's the exact same thing. Panda Club, South Korean. Burj nightclub, Indian. And despite my welfare background, I am a capitalist and I am an equal opportunist. I believe in equal opportunity. And what's going on here in Thailand at the moment, in Pattaya at the moment, is nothing more than the Chinese and the South Koreans and the Indians and the Russians having their go like we've had our go. I read a fascinating article this morning. It was about the British love affair with Thailand. And it said in 2011, Thailand witnessed the zenith of British affection with nearly 900,000 entries logged, meaning 900,000 British citizens visiting the country of Thailand. Fast forward to the mid-2020s and the Brit Brigade in Thailand has halved from its peak. Halved. Now, the article spoke about multiple factors contributing to the British exodus from Thai shores. Competition from Eastern Europe and neighbouring sun-soaked destinations, coupled with soaring airfare prices and bureaucratic hurdles like the infamous TM30 form, I think have somewhat dampened the allure for people from the UK. And of course, the media reports about people landing themselves in jail. This all adds to the waning enthusiasm of Western tourists. Now, India, on the other hand, India has moved up to be the third largest source market for Thailand tourism in 2024. A record 2.1 million Indians visited Thailand last year. Up 30% from the year prior. And whilst China absolutely still dominates the tourism market by far, the way that they do their tourism and their traveling throughout Thailand, it's so much more in groups, it's so much more segregated. The way they travel is so much more isolatory. They really keep to themselves, so they don't stand out like Western travelers do, or Russian travelers, or Indian travelers. Prior to 1960s, international tourism, particularly from the West to Thailand, and Southeast Asia, it wasn't such a big thing. Air travel was really in its infancy before the 60s. It was almost prohibitively expensive for most people. At the end of the 1970s, Pattaya and Thailand was well and truly on the map for the Americans. Now, the GIs may have pulled out, we might have pulled out, and I say we because Australia was in Vietnam. By the end of the 70s, the soldiers had pulled out, but the tourism was now here to stay. Doesn't matter to the Thais what nationality, what culture, what country is visiting their country, absolutely not. As long as those people respect the culture, respect the customs, and pay their bills, no problems. The only people that may take issue with who visits Thailand and who dominates Thailand tourism market is us tourists. It's hard to accept, particularly for Americans and British and Australians, the once dominant force in the 90s here in terms of tourism. It's hard to accept that we're no longer on top. Now China, South Korea, India, and Russia are having their turn. And if you're any kind of a student of history, you'll know that nothing lasts forever, and this too will change. So please don't buy into the headlines that Russians are terrible tourists, or Chinese are terrible tourists, or Indians are causing a fuss here. It is no different from when any other country has dominated the tourist market here. I'll leave it at that.